Hey guys, welcome back. So this is the second part of the shift dress video. This is the part where I'm going to be stitching everything together, all the pieces I cut. If you haven't watched that video, it's already in link in my description box and it's up here for you to see. So now I'm going to work on the facing first. I have two pieces of facing, one for the front, one for the back, and I'm going to just measure it again just to show you what it looks like. This front part is longer because I need to make like a V cut in the middle there. So I'm just going to draw a straight line so I can mark my middle point. I'm going to need that later on. I just need to be sure of it now, that's why I'm marking it. If you're using a clear fabric, you might not need to bother about this, but because this fabric is really heavily printed, I have to find a way to ensure that I'm doing straight lines. I'm going to go ahead and get my interfacing. Make sure you mark your right and wrong side so you don't make mistakes. So the interfacing is a stabilizer, so I think it's called interfacing as well. I'm going to use the rough side which has the glue on it. I'm going to join that to the wrong side of my facing. I'm going to trace out my pieces of facing for both the front and the back. The rough side that has the glue is the part that I'm going to glue to the wrong side. After doing this, I'll grab my iron so I can activate the glue on the rough side so that it glues to the facing. You notice that as you start ironing it kind of the glue underneath starts to melt and then it joins to the fabric. So the more you iron it, the longer the interfacing sticks to the fabric. You can still actually take it off if you want to. It might make your clothes rough, but you can do it. So as you can see, that line I made is still visible, so that's pretty much why I drew the line in the first place. I'm going to go ahead and do an overcasting stitch on the side, which is what I've done right now. I did it around the edge so that I didn't have to sew anything again and the fabric will not be pulling out on the sides. I'm going to join the shoulders together. I would sew it and I also add the overcasting stitch as well, so I don't have to do that twice. Now that that is done, I can move on to the other parts of the dress. The next part I'm going to concentrate on is the part that has the gathers. I'm going to first close the bottom by doing like a rolled hem like you're seeing right now. I'm doing this for the two pieces I cut. Remember, I cut one for the front and for the back. This was a piece that was like 63 inches long and 10 inches wide. Now the top part of this piece is where I'm going to make my basting stitch, which I'm going to use to gather the fabric. Now that I've done my basting stitch, if you don't know how to do that, you can watch the video where I made the gathered baby skirt. It's also linked right now and also in my description box. I'm going to grab one piece or one string of my stitch and I'm going to draw it out. That way I can gather my fabric. Whatever thread you actually pull is what you should stick to. So if you pull the upper thread, make sure you stick to that till you gather your fabric and you're done. I'm going to gather this fabric to the width of the bottom of my dress because that's where I'm going to be joining it to. So now that I'm done, I'm going to join this to the dress. But before I do that, I figured that I wanted the hip to be uneven, sort of uneven, because I felt it to make it to look good. If you notice from the video, from the thumbnail, you see that the hip is kind of uneven, and that's what I'm trying to achieve right now. And since I know that the length of the dress is 27 and my hip from shoulder to hip is 24, I feel like I have like 3 inches to like mess with. So from one side at 24, I cut a line. I drew a line to the other side, to the end of the dress on the other side, like this, and then I grabbed my scissors and I cut that away. So I've cut that away. I'm going to join the gathered part to it this way. So I cut that for both my front and my back piece. So it's kind of, the hip is high on one side, it's like high hip on one side and then low hip on the other side. That's what it looks like. I'm joining the gathered part to the dress with right side facing right side facing right side. I usually pin my dresses before I sew them, so you can skip that if you don't bother about pinning. So now I'm done pinning and I've sewn both sides. I'm going to concentrate on the next part now, which is the shoulders. I'm going to join the shoulders of both front and back piece together. So make sure you align both shoulders properly. You can use your pins to secure them if you need to, and then marry the two together. Now that that's done, I also did my overcasting stitch again so that I don't have to bother about the threads pulling off. Now I'm going to place my facing. Make sure you note where the front of your dress is and the back of your dress, so you don't place the facing the wrong way. I'm going to place the facing now. I'm going to pin it round before I start sewing, and I'm going to sew it with like 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to sew it round, and now I'm done sewing. Remember that line I drew earlier? I'm going to make my V-cut now. So to do that, I'm going to just use my chalk to kind of reinforce the line I drew so that it's clear for me to see. I know the depth of the V I want would be about 4 inches from the top of the neckline. So I'm currently reinforcing the line that I drew earlier. Then I'll mark 1/4 inch on either side of that line. So I don't want my V to be wide. I just want it to be there. To be barely there. I zoomed in so you can have like a closer view of what I'm doing. I marked 1/4 inch earlier at the top, and I'm drawing the line from that top to where I want the apex, right, of the V to be. You can use a pen to do this, to be honest, if you feel like your fabric is not going to be stained. I eventually used a pen because this chalk was not helping. I wasn't seeing the line properly, it wasn't sharp. And if you have like the proper Tailors pen, please use that. Now that I'm done with that, as you can see the mark of my pen right there, I went on to sew my V shape. So I started from the top of the neckline. When I got to the point, to the depth of the V, I turned my fabric around and then continued sewing until I got to the other side. And make sure you backstitch when you're done so that you can secure your seams. So this is what it looks like. Now the center line that has no stitches, where I'm going to cut to create my V shape, which I'm going to do right away. So just grab your scissors, preferably if you have a smaller scissors. I do have one, but I don't know where it is, so I'm going to use the big one like that. You're going to cut the line to be as close as possible to the end of your V shape, so make it as close as possible. Now that I'm done with that, I'm also going to go ahead and make notches round my neckline. That way it becomes easy for me to turn the facing Well, I say inside out now. Turn the facing to the other side basically. Ordinarily I'd have done like an under stitch or under stitch or a top stitch, but I honestly don't care. I don't care for that right now. And please be careful when you're making these notches, because I almost cut my seam. That would have just destroyed my work, but be careful when you're doing that anyways. I'm done with that now. I'm going to turn this inside out. Inside out or outside in, however that works for you. Just turn it to the other side. Ensure that the facing now goes inside, and do it carefully so that you don't have to start your work again. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to concentrate on the sleeve. Remember that I plan to have like a turn up sleeve, and the pieces I cut earlier that were like 4 inches wide and 19 inches long, which is obviously too long. That's what I'm going to use for my turn up sleeve. I'm going to fold that into 2, that just like that, and place it underneath the sleeve of the dress. Now the dress is currently facing me on the right side, so I'm placing that piece on the wrong side, that's under the sleeve. I'm going to sew along the edge that I'm pinning down right now. And that piece that I cut for the turn up part is folded in a way that the right side is what's outside, so the wrong side is hidden. Now I'm done doing that, and we're almost done with the dress. I'm just going to join the sides together and we'll be done. It's really that simple. We're kind of done. It's amazing how fast this actually looks, even though it took me some hours because I was filming anyways. I feel like if I was sewing it on my own without any filming, it'd probably take like maybe 2 hours roughly, but because I'm filming, constantly going back and forth just to ensure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, I'm showing everything I'm supposed to show, kind of takes a longer time to film. And so anyways, as you can see, I'm done with that part. I'm just going to fold it so that it shows on the right side, it sits on the right side rather, and then I'm going to join the side seams from the end of the sleeve all the way down to the end of the dress. I kind of like this style of cotton sleeves anyway. If you sew regularly and you do not use patterns and you have to like figure out patterns on your own, you understand why I prefer this kind of sleeves. So now I'm done with it. This is what it looks like. I'm just going to turn it inside out for you to see, or right side out. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to turn it and this is what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you make yours. If you do, please tag me on Instagram at yemi_oa, and also check out my Instagram post and my Pinterest as well. It's the same name. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope to see you in my next video. Now enjoy the view. Yes! Yes!